on the Jim Benton Story.
So I couldn't find shoes big enough, and I was drafted NFL in 1938, the 1938 season. The first thing I did when I got to Cleveland, I went to a floor-shine shoe store and asked them how big the shoes had. They said, well, we've got 13s, we've got 14s. So I said, let me try the 13s. Well, let me try the 14s, and so he put them on. It felt so good. I wore 14s until just a couple of years ago when he went to 15s.
You're listening to the Jim Benton Story on the CSN Radio Network.
Hi, we are Brock and Jennifer Zimmerman, owners and agents of Smith Taylor Insurance Agency in Des Arc, and here is Brock to tell you all about our agency.
Smith Taylor Insurance Agency is an independent agency in Des Arc. We care about our clients, and so we strive to meet all of your insurance needs by building specific packages that are custom designed for you. I'm going to talk about home and auto a little bit. So with our home, we offer various coverages. We can offer replacement cost coverages, actual cash value coverages. We can cover your primary, your secondary homes, if you have rental property, and even if you have a vacancy, we do have packages that are available. For your auto, we also can customize that to fit your specific situation. We offer certain discounts, agricultural discounts, professional service discounts, as well as good steel. So come on down and see us. We're at 106 North Oak Street in Des Arc. We're across from the jail and down from the courthouse. You can call us at 870-256-4176.
Jim Benton was drafted in the first round of the National Football League draft by the Cleveland Browns in 1938. The Browns were a weak expansion team in only their second NFL season when Jim joined the team. In his first year in the National Football League, Benton made $150 a game. In his second year, Benton got a raise to $225 a game. He wore a size 14 shoe as he was fitted special with shoes from the Floor Shine Shoe Store in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, when I enrolled at university in 1934, I couldn't get shoes big enough, football and basketball shoes yet. But I had terrible corns on each little toe. So I couldn't find shoes big enough, and when I was drafted in the NFL in 1938, the 1938 season, the first thing I did when I got to Cleveland, I went to a floor-shine shoe store and asked them how big the shoes had. They said, well, we've got 13s, we've got 14s. So I said, let me try the 13s. Well, let me try the 14s, and so they put them on. It felt so good. I wore 14s until just a couple of years ago when it went to 15s. But I didn't realize at the time that I had a secret weapon. People ask me how I got over on passes in the NFL. Well, that's the reason, because when I go down the field on a pass, and there's a defensive back to look at my feet, they give me all the room that I need.
The Rams were a weak expansion team in only their second National Football League season when Jim Benton joined the team. He nevertheless led the team in the average yards gained per reception as a rookie and in touchdown reception in his second season. He temporarily retired in 1941 to coach high school football at Fordyce, but returned the following year to pick up where he left off. When the Browns disbanded in 1943 because of World War II, he played and helped win a NFL championship with the Chicago Bears in 1943. His reception total was the lowest of his career, but he and Bear quarterback Sid Blackman formed a deadly combination in key situations as Chicago won the National Football League championship. The Cleveland Browns returned to the National Football League in 1944. And the next year, in 1945, Jim Benton became the first National Football League player to receive over 300 yards in a game, as he had 303 receiving yards in a game against the Detroit Lions on November the 22nd, 1945, when he was with the Cleveland Browns. That still ranks among the top 5 single-game totals in National Football League history. It also was the first time anyone had broken the 300-yard mark in NFL history. In 1945, Jim Benton had 45 receptions for a league-leading 1,067 yards. The Jim Benton story continues in just a moment, right after these words on CSN Sports Biography.
Okay, guys, this is just between me and you. I know how badly you want that new motorcycle from Sunrise Honda. Well, now you've got the perfect excuse to buy one. It's called $3 a gallon gasoline. Here's how it works. Just tell your wife you finally found a way to afford that cruise she's been wanting, then explain that you can save $300 a month by riding a new motorcycle versus driving your pickup. Works every time. Need more reasons? Visit Sunrise Honda at Exit 45 in Searcy or on the web at sunrisehonda.com.
I am a cadet.
A cadet.
A cadet.
At the United States Air Force Academy.
I am part of the team.
The team.
The team.
I am brave.
Strong. Intelligent. I'm American. American.
I am American.
I am part of a proud heritage.
Rich traditions.
The long blue line.
I am ready to lead.
To lead. To lead the greatest air and space force in the world with integrity.
Honor.
Service.
Excellence.
Your association of graduates, building the leaders of character for the nation.
On the frozen tundra of banking, a colossal battle ensued. Which financial institution would reign supreme? As the sun revealed a scarred landscape, one place with one name rose victorious by being more than just a bank. Investments, mortgages, public finance, and yes, banking. One Arkansas company simplified life by doing it all. A new era, a new champion. First Security, investing in Arkansas.
Who's the team to beat in Class 4A this year? Hi, this is Barry Buck, your host for the 4A High School Football Preview you've heard every week on CSN. I'll give you the CSN 4A Top 10 poll, we'll interview the player of the week, and take a look at the top game in Class 4A each week. It's a 4A High School Football Preview heard right here on the CSN Radio Network.
The Cleveland Browns in the National Football League with Jim Benton at wide receiver opened the season with 4 consecutive victories, dropping the game 28-14 to the Philadelphia Eagles, and then winning 5 straight to finish the regular season at 9-1. They were the National Football League's Western Division champs for the first time. The Browns were coached by Adam Walsh, one of Notre Dame's 7 Mules, as the line that blocked for the 4 Horsemen, and quarterbacked by Bob Waterfield, a rookie. A third-round draft choice from UCLA, Warfield threw for 4 touchdown passes, rushed for 5 more, kicked field goals and extra points, punted, and also played defense. He was the unanimous winner of the league's Most Valuable Player award. And according to Jim Benton, he said that Bob Waterfield was his favorite quarterback.
And I played 1 year at Shield Lockman, and I played 3 years with Waterfield, the last 3 years. I'm okay, I like Waterfield.
On December the 16th of that year, the Cleveland Browns met the Eastern Division champion Washington Redskins in Cleveland's Municipal Stadium for the NFL title game, and it was the Browns winning the championship by a score of 15-14. The game grossed $164,540.40 at the gate. That's an NFL record at that time, and set additional marks for net gate, radio, and motion picture rights of $1,469.74, as the losing players got a share of $902.47, and Jim Benton got the winning share of playing in the National Football League Championship game of $1,649. weeks later, after winning the National Football League championship, Rams owner and Dan Reeves shocked the sports world by announcing his intention to move his team all the way to Los Angeles, California. So Jim Benton was headed to L.A. to play for the Cleveland Rams after they won the National Football League championship. You know, earlier we told you that the favorite quarterback of all the quarterbacks that Jim Benton played with was Bob Waterfield with the Cleveland Rams and also the Los Angeles Rams. Well, Bob Waterfield married actress Jane Russell, and according to Jim, he said he danced with Jane on several occasions.
You know, talk about Jane Russell. I danced with her almost 2 or 3 times. And when I did, I always felt like I was in the next room.
In that 1945 year in which the Cleveland Rams won the National Football League championship, Jim Benton topped all receivers in yards gained that year, catching a 37-yard touchdown pass in the title game, as it was an outstanding year for Jim Benton in 1945. In 1946, when the team moved to Los Angeles, Benton led the league in both receptions and yardage, and again with the Los Angeles Rams in 1947. He was named to the All-NFL team in 1945 and again in 1946. Lanky Jim Benton ranked only behind Don Hudson as a pro pass receiver during most of the 1940s, and when he retired after the 1947 season, his 288 career catches were the second highest total ever achieved in the National Football League up to that point. Jim Bailey of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette in Little Rock said it was sure hands and great speed that gave the ingredients for assets for Jim Benton to be an outstanding receiver.
Well, apparently he had a great knack to get open, and he had good hands. And I'm sure he was a very good competitor, and he's extremely intelligent. He was one of the most intelligent people I've ever been around about football or anything else.
Benton held the receiving yardage record in the National Football League until 1950 with 63 catches for 981 yards in 1946. Benton also made 45 catches in 1945 for 1,067 yards. Benton was the first National Football League player to have more than 300 yards receiving in a game. He was named to the National Football League's All-Decade Team in the 1940s decade. Coming up next on the Jim Benton Story.
Well, I always knew who he was because he'd been an All-American football player at Arkansas and an NFL star, but I really got acquainted with him back in the 50s and early 60s when he was doing a weekly column for the Arkansas Democrat. He would go cover the Razorbacks game each week during football season and write his opinions of it. He was very good with that. He was very lucid, very common sense, very easy to understand.
You're listening to the Jim Benton Story on the CSN Radio Network.
Hi, this is Bruce Stevens, owner and general manager of Desert Auto and Ag Center at 206 North Whippoorwill Road in Desert. Some of our specials this month at bumper-to-bumper auto parts are Moabite batteries, AC depot batteries, ATV parts, and a wide selection of tools and parts. Come in and see us at Desert Auto and Ag Center. We would like to give a shout out to the Desert Eagles. Give us a call at 870-256-4540 or come in at 206 North Whippoorwill Road in Desert.
When Jim Benton retired from the National Football League in 1948, 2 years later he went into coaching. as he moved on to the college ranks and coached at Arkansas A&M from 1950 through 1953. Benton coached Arkansas A&M, now the University of Arkansas in Monticello, to an AIC football championship. He went 7-1 and won the Boll Weevils their first Arkansas Intercollegiate Conference football championship in 1953. After leaving coaching at Arkansas A&M in 1953, Jim Benton became a newspaper reporter as he wrote a column on the Arkansas Razorbacks for the Arkansas Democrat. Jim Bailey, longtime columnist and reporter with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette in Little Rock, knew Jim Benton, and he said he always wrote a great article on the Razorbacks.
Well, I always knew who he was because he'd been an All-American football player at Arkansas and an NFL star, but I really got acquainted with him back in the 50s and early 60s when he was doing a weekly column for the Arkansas Democrat. He'd go cover the Razorbacks game each week during football season and write his opinions of it. He was very good with that. He very lucid, very common sense, very easy to understand. Really nice man in every respect.
Dr. Charles Kaufman in Fordyce said that he'd always read the articles in the paper of Jim Benton.
And that was always the first article I went to because I wanted to hear or read what Jim said about that ball game, what happened, why it happened, and all this. And he has mentioned to me that he stepped on Coach Ball's toes a few times, and that didn't go too well because Coach Ball's got
Mike.
All
right.
Jim Benton was elected to the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame in the organization's second year in 1960. He was inducted along with Arkansas head football coach and athletic director John Barnhill and Razorback quarterback Steve Creedmoor from the 1909 era. Jim Benton was named to the Arkansas Hall of Honor in their second year in 1989. In 1995, Jim Benton came down with pancreatic cancer, and he also had brain surgery for cancer in 1998. He was diagnosed by his doctor with bilateral subdural hematoma, which is bleeding at the brain, as he made that statement when he was a special speaker at the Fordyce Rotary Club meeting on November the 29th in the year 2000.
those of you who knew me years ago, Charlie was there, and Tommy, I've lost a lot of weight. And I weighed, when I retired from the NFL, I weighed about 225 with the clothes on. I weighed 170 now. So I've lost quite a bit of weight. And the reason is that I had pancreatitis in 1995 and removed the gallbladder, lost a lot of weight. That brain surgery in 1998, you can see that forgiveness. And Dr. Ron Williams was the surgeon. And anyhow, I was diagnosed with a bilateral subdural hematoma, bleeding of the brain. So anyhow, after Dr. Williams finished the operation, and I came through, Jim says, oh, I can find it ain't good. So when I get to ramming today, you'll know why.
In 1999, Jim Benton was named to the Arkansas Razorback All-Century team as one of 4 receivers along with Bobby Crockett, Chuck Dykes, and Weir Schoonover. He was also named in to the 1930s All-Decade team. On March the 30th, 2001, Big Jim Benton died at his home after a battle with cancer. He was buried in the Oaklawn Cemetery at Fordyce at the age of 84. Jim Benton's first cousin is Frances Metter, who still lives in Fordyce at the age of 96. She told us what the family of Jim Benton remembers about the man.
So they were very proud of him and thought that he did a whole lot of good in other ways besides the football. And he was buried out here in our cemetery. And so he was a fine person.
I'll be back with some final comments on the Jim Benton story right after these words on CSN Sports Biography.
Get online now and purchase your mobile phone at best price. And all phones are unlocked. Use your phone with any service. No contracts. MyWorldPhone.com. Only brand name mobile phones. So, Motorola, Samsung, Siemens, Sony Ericsson, Innospring, Panasonic. Complete customer satisfaction. Quality products. Many in style. Best prices. No contracts. Unlocked. Best prices. Best phone. Only MyWorldPhone.com. Log on now. Use your phone with any service. MyWorldPhone.com.
I was ready for college. To be out on my own, meet people who aren't just like my high school friends. To study what I wanted to study at a university I could afford. I was ready for Henderson State University. Are you? Take a virtual tour and apply online at getready.com.
That's GETREDDIE.com. Or you can call 1-800-228-7333 for information about Henderson State University.
The new 2007 models are in at Vail Honda in Little Rock. Here's the general manager of Vail Honda, Bob Ralston.
Well, some of the most exciting things right now is this is one of the earliest times that we've had 07 models in stock. We've got the 07 Ridge Lines and 07 Pilots and the 07 Accords, and for them to be here this far ahead of September speaks a lot for the overall inventory situations that Honda's had this year, so we're excited to have them.
Come see the new Honda Accords, the new Honda Odysseys, the Hybrids, and the Honda Pilots now at Vail Honda, 13101 Chenal Parkway in Little Rock. It's the college football game of the week here on the Creative Sports Radio Network on Saturday, September the 30th. As the game will be played between Harding University and West Alabama at First Security Stadium on the campus of Harding University in Searcy. Hello everyone, this is Mike Harrison. Join me with the game of the college football game of the week, Saturday, September the 30th. Airtime 5:45 with the pregame, kickoff at 6 right here on CSN. Jim Benton did a lot of things in his life. He is listed as the 39th best athlete from the state of Arkansas on Sports Illustrated's Top 50 Sports Figures of the Century in 1999. He played 9 years in the National Football League. He was the first player ever to gain over 300 yards in receiving in NFL, and he saw Paul Bear Bryant wrestle a bear, and he was an All-American in college football for the Arkansas Razorbacks in 1937. Yes, Jim Benton did have a great life. He played on great teams, the Fordyce Redbugs, the Arkansas Razorbacks, and the Cleveland and Los Angeles Rams, and the Chicago Bears. Big Jim was Big Jim, but to this day, anyone in Fordyce can tell you that Big Jim Benton had a big heart.
Well, apparently he had a great practice. He had good hands, and I'm sure he was a very good competitor. He was extremely intelligent. He was one of the most intelligent people I've ever been around about football and anything else.
He was mighty fine, tall guy. Anyway, James, he was James to me instead of Jim.
One of the best things about Jim Benton, although he's had an outstanding football career, you won't ever find a nicer guy. But I didn't realize at the time that I had a secret weapon. People ask me how I got over on passes in the NFL. Well, that's the reason, because when I go down the field on a pass, and those defensive backs that look at my feet, they give me all the room that I need.
thanks on the Jim Benton story from affiliate KBJT and KQEW in Fordyce. To Francis Metter, Jim Benton's first cousin in Fordyce, the St. Louis Rams, and to Jim Bailey, sports columnist with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette in Little Rock. Yes, Jim Benton was truly one of the great receivers of all time in the National Football League. For the Jim Benton story on Sports Biography, I'm Mike Harrison speaking.
Let me ask you something, partner. What are you doing for lunch? Surely you can do better than one of those fast food places or something that comes out of a brown bag. Come on over to Colton's Steakhouse and Grill. There you'll find that lunch can be fun, tasty, affordable, and quick. Colton's has an entire special lunch menu just for you. Steak, chicken, seafood, salad, sandwiches, and our Montana burger. Why, folks come far and wide just for that burger. Plus, at lunch you get Colton's famous homemade beef rolls. And there's free peanuts everywhere. Grab a bucket and munch on as many as you want. And if you gotta get back to work, we can get you in and out fast. Now you got lunch plans at Colton's Steakhouse and Grill. At Colton's, we know what's at stake.
Colton's Steakhouse and Grill at 120 East Oak Street in Conway.
Get ready for the football season and dine with us. Hi, this is Todd Richmond, General Manager at the Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews at 1025 South Amity Road at the Lewis Crossing Shopping Center here in Conway. We're open every day for lunch starting at 11 a.m. We have the best in gourmet burgers, bottomless fries, salads, and desserts. Come by late in the afternoon during our happy hour and get great discounts on all kinds of drinks. Check out our menus online at redrobin.com or give us a call at 501-585-6600. And remember the phrase of Red Robin, yum.
This is Jim Houston with ERE Team Real Estate at 1600 Dave Ward Drive in Conway. Whether you're buying or selling, I can help. We have many properties in Faulkner County and in Central Arkansas, and I am sure we can find the one that best suits your needs. Give me a call at ERE Team Real Estate at 327-6731 and ask for Jim. Or you can contact me on Facebook at Jim Houston Realtor. I'm Jim Houston with ERE Team Real Estate, the realtor you can rely on.
Superintendent John Gray, the school board, and school personnel would like to thank the patrons of the Mayflower School District for their support in passing the millage to build and renovate the football stadium and surrounding areas. With the passage, Mayflower can now have a state-of-the-art stadium for the students, teachers, and patrons of the school district. Once again, thanks from the Mayflower School District, where education is first and foremost.
Hi, this is Ashton at Shorty's Restaurant, 1101 Hargarter Street in Conway. Come by for lunch and enjoy our world-recognized hamburgers, french fries, onion rings, and tater babies. Enjoy our traditional shakes and bars. Call us today at 329-9213. Open nightly till 8 p.m. Shorty's, the tastiest place in Central Arkansas.
You've been listening to CSN Sports Biography, the life story of Jim Benton from Fordyce, Arkansas. This has been a presentation of the CSN Radio Network.
Your Mighty 25,000 watts in Central Arkansas, with Cardinal Baseball is KASR, Conway, Little Rock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Mass Mutual.
I'm Peter King, and we have breaking news. The White House has just released the transcript from President Trump's controversial conversation with Ukraine's leader after a whistleblower complaint at the start of a House impeachment inquiry. Correspondent Steve Dorsey is live in Washington. Steve, what does it say?
Peter, according to the just-released transcript of that 30-minute July 25th call, President Trump authorized his personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, and Attorney General Bill Barr to contact Ukraine to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter, who had business dealings there. President Trump said, quote, "Whatever you can do with the Attorney General would be great." Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pledged to meet with Giuliani and assign a prosecutor to the case. Just seconds ago, the Department of Justice responded. A spokesperson says President Trump never discussed the matter with Barr, nor did Giuliani discuss it with Barr. The president is due to meet with Zelensky today at the UN as Congress presses for more details about a whistleblower complaint about the call. Peter.
The Trump administration is tightening the screws on Iran again. CBS's Candy McCormick has more from the Pentagon.
Secretary of State Pompeo announced new sanctions as the Trump administration continues to try to reduce Iran's oil exports to zero.
Today we're imposing sanctions on certain Chinese entities for knowingly transporting oil from Iran.
And he said more sanctions will be coming against any country doing business with Iran and its Revolutionary Guards.
We're telling China and all nations, know that we will sanction every violation of sanctionable activity.
Cammie McCormick, CBS News, the Pentagon.
One science writer describes the UN's just-released climate report as grim and predicts that the melting polar ice cap will raise sea levels dramatically enough to force tens of millions of coastal residents from their homes before the end of the century. It also says climate change could suffocate marine life. Lisa Swantoni is with the Natural Resources Defense Council.
The ocean is our life support system here on Earth. And what the report tells us is that our life support system is unraveling.
A big shakeup at e-cigarette maker Juul CEO Kevin Burns is out. The company has suspended all advertising and lobbying efforts. Vaping is at the center of what health officials call a crisis, with several deaths reported nationwide. Concerns about teens who vape. Want to get a job at Golden Arches? Starting today, you can do it this way.
Alexa, can you tell me about the new McDonald's skill?
Happy to. McDonald's now has a skill that lets you start a job application. Would you like to go through the McDonald's apply through?
A half hour after the opening bell on Wall Street, Dow is up 9 points. This is CBS News.
Behind every moment shared with the ones you love is a plan that helped make it happen. Learn more or find an advisor at massmutual.com.
ADP isn't just in the payroll business. We're in the people business, helping companies find them, train them, and empower them by clearing the way for them to do their best work. Because when your people thrive, your business thrives with them. HR, talent, time, benefits, and payroll, informed by data and designed for people, so you and your company can achieve what you are working for. Learn more at design.adp.com.
Plants capture CO2. What if we could help industrial plants capture it too? Think how we could help lower emissions. More and more scientists think carbon capture is key to reducing CO2 emissions globally. It's one way ExxonMobil is helping industrial plants be more like plants. That's the unexpected energy of ExxonMobil.
Investigators looking into a shooting rampage last May at Virginia Beach say it's a slow go.
Police still have not determined why a Virginia Beach city engineer opened fire on his co-workers, killing 12 of them May 31st. Jason Dixon's wife, Kate, was among the victims.
I don't feel like we got the whole truth. I know it's still a process of investigation, but this is enough. This is 4 months, man. How much longer is it going to take?
Police say Dwayne Pratt went on a shooting spree after submitting his resignation online. The 40-year-old died in a gun battle with police. Jim Grisilla, CBS News.
California has a rodent problem, swamp rodents called nutria.
Wildlife officials say their feeding and burrowing habits threaten the state's wetlands and ecosystem. Now there's a $10 million effort to get rid of them, including 46 new hires, trapped, sterilized, fit them with radio collars so they can go back in the woods and rat out their fellow rodents. Peter King, CBS News.
Weather update.
Here is your accurate forecast. Today, a blend of sun and clouds. Those will be a shower or a thunderous overbound. High today, 87. Becoming mostly cloudy tonight with a shower or a thunderous overbound. Still humid to below 70. Couple of showers and a thunderstorm tomorrow. Otherwise, humid with clouds, even some sun. High 84. This forecast is brought to you by Smith Ford. With your accurate forecast, I'm Kevin Snyder on 92.7 FM, KASR, Arkansas Sports Radio.
Hi, this is Kenny Ketcherside, General Manager here at Smith Ford in Conway. My wife Kathy and my brother-in-law Ted Smith are the fourth generation of the Smith family owner and operator of Smith Ford. Remember our new motto, no haggle, one price, one stock, guaranteed. Come see us at Smith Ford and save some money.
Back up, go in the corner.
You're listening to NBC Sports Radio.
Kimmy, say something to the camera.
Sports Radio 92.7.
Good day. How are you all doing today?
This organization and the players and everybody like, hey, look, I'm good. I'm actually better than Eli Manning. And that's why they were able to make this switch. I think probably people in Washington see glimmers of, oh, Dwayne Haskins is special. But I think on a day-to-day basis, Case Keenum was a veteran and has a little more talent than people realize and hasn't played bad this year until the other night. And they still had a chance until he did his dumb 4th and 1 over the pile, reach out for the first down.
I think that Jay Gruden feels the urgency to try to win some games to save his job.
Right.
And that's clouding his judgment here. That if you had a coach who had just been hired this year, if Cliff Kingsbury had been hired in Washington, right, he'd be playing Dwayne Haskins right now. Because you don't feel that same mandate to save your butt, to try to win games. Not that Case Keenum is going to help him win many games. Now, who knows? Maybe they go steal this one against the Giants on Sunday, and then 1-3 looks a lot better than 0-3, and then maybe get lucky again, and you're 2-3, and you are back in the conversation.
Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2. Hello, Kimmy Cleveland. What's the password?
Dysfunctional teams do dysfunctional things. It's the height of dysfunction to have a coaching staff who really isn't on the same page with your effort to develop a young quarterback, because it's in the long-term best interest of the organization for this guy to get to his ceiling as soon as possible, which means get him on the field, Chris.
Well, yeah, it doesn't always mean that. We just saw Patrick Mahomes sit out a year and then came back and reached all his
But he had Alex Smith in front of him. He had Alex Smith, he had Andy Reid, and Andy Reid knew he was going to be there. He knew he could put him on the sideline and let him learn from Alex Smith. What is Dwayne Haskins learning from Case Keenum?
Well, yes. He's learning to be a pro. He's learning NFL football. But, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. Of course Jay Gruden is worried about winning games. The reality of the situation is he doesn't. He needs to win games if he wants to save his butt. That's kind of what it seems like right now. The writing's on the wall as far as that goes. But, again, Dwayne Haskins is a one-year college starter. Okay, and then in the preseason, even though we showed a highlight before, he did some good things. Don't forget, he had some interceptions where we went, what the hell was that? So I think they saw enough moments of that to know that he is not grown or ready yet to be that guy or be put in the same situation Daniel Jones is. Maybe 3-4 weeks from now, they'll feel more comfortable. Maybe it'll just be 2 or 3 weeks from now. But they're not going to give hope on Case Keenum yet, and that's why they're going to stick with it.
And here's the problem they're going to get themselves into. They're going to fire Jay Gruden at some point during this season or after it. And then the next head coach may not be a Dwayne Haskins guy. He'll tell them when he interviews he's a Dwayne Haskins guy. And then once he gets the job and has a 5-year contract that's fully guaranteed, all of a sudden he's not Dwayne Haskins guy anymore. And that's going to be the challenge, making sure you find someone who truly is all in with Dwayne Haskins, and not just saying he's all in with Dwayne Haskins, because he's all in with the idea of being a head coach.
Well, that's a real possibility. You're right. And whoever that head coach is, I would just say, gosh, if you're going to take that job and try to fight that fight to start off, you probably won't be around very long anyways. You're going to start a quarterback issue within the organization, your first year on the job and everything like that. So that would be the wrong approach from that head coach, too. I mean, you're basically cutting off your nose to spite your face. Did I say that right? I think I did. But
You did.
yes,
Richard.